Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're gonna going in debate session. First, we would like to welcome the first speaker of the positive team. The time is yours.
All right, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. So today, I am as the first speaker of the positive team. Will offer my arguments. Before I confirm my arguments, I, I will tell you that our motion is the House believes that English should not become a common global language, and then this is my argument. Global language is a term for a language with a large number of speakers or spread in various parts of the world. The spread of global language occurs due to several factors such as language speaker migration. A language is usually referred as a global language if its use shows economic, political, technological, and cultural dominance among its speakers. English is the Germanic language that was first spoken in English in the early Middle Ages and is currently the most commonly used language throughout the world. English is spoken as the first language by the majority of the population in various countries. I think that's all for me. I erase my case.
Okay, thank you for the first speaker of the positive team. The first speaker of positive team spent 1 minute and 4 seconds. Moving on, let's welcome the first speaker of the negative team. The time is yours. So let's welcome the first speaker of the negative team.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jafar Panda as the first speaker from the negative team. And the second speaker from the negative team will be presented by Oren Florentin, and the third speaker will be presented by Irham Wildan Zaki. So, I'm going to do my rebuttal here. The first speaker of the positive team said that the use of English can be caused to the loss of mother tongue. Do the first speaker of the positive team have the slight proof that use of English can cause the loss of mother tongue? Personally, I have seen a quiet child in my neighborhood who can speak English since they are a child, but they didn't lose their mother tongue language. The loss of mother tongue is dependent on the parents who teach their various language to their child. As the first speaker of the negative team said that the use of the English language since a child can lead to several problems, such as a loss of mother tongue and just need to be used for expertise. And also, how can you say that many people of Indonesia parents to teach their children English a lot? Maybe we just see what that the media are proceed for us to see. Maybe we get lied by the media. We never know what happened inside in their household, right? English is the most widely used language in the world. So it's natural that English is a common language of the world. Internationally, basically, I don't see nothing wrong to learn the language. With English, we can communicate easily between each other. The more common we speak English, the more fluent we can become. If we're going to talk the lack of mother tongue to the overuse of English, then English will not replace someone's mother tongue because someone's mother tongue will be embedded in him since they was a baby. Using mother tongue almost every day. Therefore, English is which is used as a global common language should not affect their mother tongue. Cross-country communication is a factor that shaped the world as we know now. The distribution and development of religion, science, and technology is very dependent on the process of communication. Therefore, a need emerged to be able to communicate and understand each other. This communication process must also be done by people from various countries who use various of different language. This need encourage an effort to make a language that can be understood and used by everyone in the world. In the 20th century, it was a time when nationalism became very popular, as well as international cooperation. Various countries establish relation with language limitation. Therefore, many efforts are made in making foreign language dictionaries and translation of important documents. Not effective, right? Well, this then encouraged the emergence of the need for a new international language. At the same time, the army, sailors, and invaders who speak English around the world, not just around, but they also settle. This English is not used in independent countries, and under the Spanish, Portuguese, French, and Dutch colonialism, slowly becomes a new international language. The language was scattered quickly by the glory of the British and the United States Empire. English began to be used to use it to apply it in the common common life throughout the world. So English is a common language of the world because we need a language that is easily used by everyone. English become a world language because it is considered a language that is easy to learn and more effectively. That's all from me. I respect.
The first speaker of the negative team spent 4 minutes and 4 seconds.
Alright.
Let's welcome the second speaker of the positive team.
Alright. Thank you for the chance to present our argument. I am Marisan Putra as a deputy leader of the government. Making English as a common language of the world can cause a loss of cultural diversity. We cannot deny that a culture is a part of a language. You cannot fully understand and master a language unless you understand the culture and vice versa. So the difference between two cultures are reflected perfectly in their language. Mastering the nuance of a language means really being able to understand people who grew up with an entirely different set of values and beliefs. So language reflects perceptions, but it also reflects the history of a culture and explains why certain ideas and beliefs are so prominent and profound. So a great way to expose yourself to a culture's unique perspective and values is to engage with the media produced by the people from that culture. Learning English as an international language for the purpose of meeting communicative needs is a big threat to national identity, especially Indonesia, for their culture and even their religion. Because learning international language causes people to lose their own language, which is a carrier of all their identity cultural values. Language and culture have a coordinative relationship, namely the equivalent relationship with a very high position. And culture and language are also a system inherent in humans. In other words, culture is a system that functions as a means of ongoing that interaction. So language, when viewed from outside itself, is a tool and a cultural container in the form of language activities, both in writing and also in the oral form. So the relationship of a language with culture is very close. It is often difficult to identify the relationship between both because they influence each other and complement each other. And when a language is lost, the perspective of the world is also lost because language is a carrier of the various cultural aspects. So the cultural diversity, which is the cause of mobility between communities, is threatened with the extinction. So different language have helped humans to find the word more precisely because different people have different cultures and experiencing the word differently because there are 50 different words, which means like snow in one Canadian language. It is believed that language become threatened if it is not lowered to their children or when a metropolitan language such as English dominates the other language. So culture can occur if there is a language, because it is discussed that allow the formation of culture. Even the culture of our ancestors can be accepted and we inherit our children and grandchildren through the language. Therefore, we believe that if English is used as a common language of the world, it can cause a loss of a cultural diversity. I think that's from me and I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, the second speaker of the positive team. The second speaker of the positive team spent 3 minutes and 4 seconds. Moving on, let's welcome the second speaker of the negative team.
Right of the affirmative, English can slow down language learning, especially for children. Learning multiple languages together, especially at an early age, will limit the number of new Indonesian vocabularies and 10 new foreign vocabularies. This, of course, will only slow down language development. With the new language, the child becomes confused in speaking, and thus the child also becomes difficult to socialize with other people. As the team said, that mother tongue is the first native language that humans master from birth. So everyone must have an obligation to protect local language as part of a very valuable and priceless wealth. So using English as the word common language is not good because it can make us forget our mother tongue. Then the positive team also said that English should only be used as a complement to skill and add value to self-ability. And the mother tongue must not be errored in its outlet. Mother tongue is the first native language mastered by humans from birth. So everyone must have an obligation to protect local language. Protect local language as part of a very valuable and priceless wealth. English will not replace one's mother tongue because one's mother tongue will be ingrained in him since he was a baby. Their parents will definitely speak to them in their mother tongue. Therefore, English, which is used as a global common language, should not affect their mother tongue. Therefore, we don't agree that English should become the common language because it have a bad impact, especially for children, as they find it difficult to communicate with other people around them. It is very important to introduce the mother tongue to children because they also need to better understand the mother tongue. And for English, I will take time for the time to learn English. I think that's all from me. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
All right, the second speaker of the positive, from the negative teams spent 3 minutes and 1 second. Let's welcome the third speaker from the positive team. The time is yours.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Melanie Apriliana Liasta Ginting, and I am the third speaker from the positive team. At the first, I will answer the first speaker who asked, does the first speaker of the positive team have the proof that the use of English can lead the loss of the mother tongue? I came across the opinion of an expert who said, once you learn another language, the two systems start competing with each other, said Monica Smith, a linguist at the University of Essex. Smith is a leading researcher in the field of eroding language, a growing field of research that examines that what makes us lose our mother tongue. In children, this phenomenon is easier to explain because their brains are generally more flexible and more adaptable. Until around the age of 12 years, a person's language skills are relatively more susceptible to change. Research on children adopted abroad found that a 9-year-old can How can you not say that many parents in Indonesia teach their children a lot of English? Based on my experience where I live in Kerapang, lots of parents are competing to profit additional English lessons to their children, especially the Chinese. They are willing to spend a lot of money so that their children can speak English. Even I have a friend who, when at home, he speaks English with her parents. So the use of English as a common language of the world can cause the emphasis of several social values and identity. The introduction of language is closely related to identity and to self-identity. We must try to save our language. According to research, 1/3 of language loss, which is also the loss of identity, is the dominance of international language. Language and language identity are not only a means of communication, but also related to a set of behavioral norms and cultural values that shape a person's identity. After learning new language, someone's perception of competencies, communicative styles, and the value system experience many changes. It is even possible that a language carries a double identity, especially in the context where people have social and cultural values that they create themselves and at the same time are exposed to social and cultural values that have no choice for them to avoid and consequently
UI.
become part of their identity. Yes, please.
You saying that if you believe that English can change person identity, then what about for the person that didn't use other language besides their mother tongue? Do they didn't have identity change and identity development at all?
All right. Of course not. A monolingual person doesn't mean that they can do they can do what bilingual person can do. A language may take part in character identity and development, but there are lot others aspect who can make other person identity, such social aspect, their living environment, their culture, and many other. So I can certainly deny what you said when you said that a person who only fluent in one language can have their character identity change or even develop. Joseph stated that language and identity actually cannot be separated so that changes in identity are attached to every change in the habit. They will be inward oriented rather than out, and their actual language stops being an exonormative as a dialect and becomes endonormative as a separate language. And once the community invests its separate social identity in the language in this way, the condition is naturally created to be different as a virtual research. Language is a central feature of human identity. Language is a strong symbol of national and ethnic identity. Language and identity cannot be separated. If we use English as a common language, our identity can also change. Language and language identity are not only a means of communication, but also related to a set of behavioral norms and cultural values that shape a person's identity. Therefore, the use of English as a common language of the world can cause the emphasis of several social values and identity. So we believe that English must not be a common language of the world because it will cause other countries to lose their mother tongue. Their cultural diversity can also disappear. When language is lost, the perspective of the world is also lost. Because language is a carrier of various cultural aspects, cultural diversity, which is the cause of mobility between communities is threatened with extinction. Using English as a common language or identity can also change. Therefore, we agree with this motion. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, the third speaker from the positive team spend 5 minutes 43 seconds. Let's welcome the third speaker from the negative team. Thank you for the time. Good evening, Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ilham Zaki. I'm the third speaker of the negative team. So with English into a common language of the world, it can make easier for us to communicate with others in this world. The reason is we live on Earth inhabited by various kind of people and of course from various countries. Like human nature as social being, of course we must communicate with other human beings. Various countries have their own language. So with the English language, there is common language to you. This like common language, this word can help and make it easier for us to communicate with them. English is a language that is mastered by many people. People with different mother tongue also learn this language so that even though basically mastering certain language by being able to understand and talk in English will be greatly help in communicating with others as a common language of the world. It is likely that each person master 2 or 3 language at once, and one of them is English. For example, we want to go abroad. Being able to speak English can increase our confidence to travel. When we meet people from other countries, we can talk to him using the language of the world, namely English. We do not need to be afraid if it's difficult to see the outside world and various other things because we feel they have enough communication skill in English. Although the places you are aiming for do not use English, there's a belief that English will be enough to take a walk to any country. There will be people who can be invited to speak in this language. In each country has their own language. So to be able to talk people from other countries is take a common language that is known by everyone. Therefore, with the existence of English into a common language of the world, it can make it easier for us to communicate with the other. So that's all from me. Here's my case. The third speaker of the negative team spent 1 minute and 34 seconds. Okay, let's welcome the reply speaker for the positive team. The time is yours.
All right. I will confirm my argument. My statement is the use of English as the main language in the world can cause other nations to lose their mother tongue. Mother tongue can be lost and replaced by English because people prefer to speak English. And then making English the common language of the world can lead to a loss of cultural diversity because language is the carrier of various aspects of culture. Cultural diversity, which is the cause of mobility between people, is threatened with extinction. And then language and identity cannot be separated. If we use English as a common language, then our identity can also change. The use of English as the common language of the world can lead to the suppression of some social values and identities. And then my conclusion is we believe that English must not be a common language of the world because it will cause other countries to lose their mother tongue. Their cultural diversity can also disappear. When language is lost, their perspective of the world is also lost because language is a carrier of various cultural aspects and cultural diversity, which is the cause of mobility. I think that's all from me. I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you for the reply speech. The reply speaker spent 1 minute 47 seconds. Let's welcome the reply speaker for the negative team.
All right, thank you for the chance. So English has become the common language of the world. English has become one of the most language when using internationally. Everyone uses English and it's widely spoken in the world. So it is only that English was a natural common language of the world that has been used for since colonial era. So why bother to change? So why we bother to change it? Why bother to change something that already proved effective and bring a lot of advantage for a lot of people cross country and cross generation? The number of languages in this world can make it difficult for us to continue our education or career to neighboring countries. With English as the world common language, it can make it easier for people to continue their education and careers in any country they want. And focus on language. This could be really helpful for politicians, workers who travel internationally, or students who go abroad. Each country has their own language. Therefore, with English being the common language of the world, it can make it easier for us to communicate with other people in this world. As the negative team, we do not agree that the existence of English can replace the mother tongue way, because the mother tongue has been embedded in someone since they was a baby. And also, English is a common language of the world because we need a language that can be used by everyone in all countries. We need English to be able to talk to people from abroad, continue education, and continue their careers. Therefore, we do not agree with this motion. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right, the reply speaker from the negative team spent 2 minutes and 11 seconds. So with this conclusion, we're gonna end this debate. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and goodbye.